So, welcome, welcome, welcome. We have an exciting topic today. I have an expert in the field of nutrition and fitness, David Reinprecht. He is a trainer to many stars. He's been in many movies. He's a good friend of Arnold Schwarzenegger's, and he's trained with the very, very best. I'm going to give him a call. I'm going to patch him in. I'm lucky to have him on our live feed today. He has his headquarters in Arizona and Los Angeles. Very, very successful brand. He'll be talking about that as well, but mainly, health and nutrition and fitness tips for drivers. Let's see.
Hello.
David, welcome, my friend. You're live with us on air. How are you doing today?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Good. So you're in what? You're in sunny Arizona, right?
Oh yeah, sunny Arizona. We have 95 degrees, which is perfect, which is comfortable because usually we have around like 115 to 118. So
yeah, I mean that gets brutally hot there in Arizona. I mean, I know a lot of my followers are from Arizona, from Scottsdale, Phoenix, all those surrounding areas, right? And I've been there many times. I love Arizona. Actually, to go to Arizona, it's a good reason for me to visit my buddy David. David, how long have we known each other?
oh my God, it's been time is flying. It's been 20 years. Yeah, 20 years.
20 years. And I'm going to just take them back 20 years back, right? David and his buddy Chris, they were from Austria. David was a sports star overseas. He did MMA, he did tennis. He's always been into sport. And here he comes. I get introduced to him in Santa Monica, California. They need a job, right? And they start at my .com company. What was it called, David?
Rentwave.com. How can I forget that?
Rentwave, we'll never forget that. That's 20 years ago. And you know what? I had hired 2 racehorses, right? These were the stallion of the stallions. They sales. They would get 3 or 4 more times sales than everyone else in my office, and had a whole big sales team. But David and Chris, they ripped it daily, right? So I'm going to fast forward a little bit, David. We ran the company for several years. Torsten got into a divorce. Torsten had to shut down the company. And David and Chris sat down with me and they said, listen, we've learned a lot. We're ready to go out there in LA and make it big. What should...
Actually, let me explain what you actually did for us, because I was a student here. I went to college and I came in 2001, right after 9/11.
Okay.
So when all the laws changed, it was almost impossible to find a job. But then I was about to give up. And then Chris introduced me to you, and you gave me the chance, to work.
Wonderful.
And then, actually, yeah, you saved my life. I think it's fair to say, without you, I wouldn't be here talking to you, and I wouldn't have all the success now in fitness and nutrition, because I wouldn't be here.
That's wonderful. That makes me feel great. And the feelings are mutual. The friendship that developed, from working together to becoming like best friends, right? This is one of the warriors that I can fall back on. And this guy is as strong as an ox, right? He's a warrior, dude. And when you go out with him, if you go out to a nightclub or to a restaurant, I mean, you literally 10 girls surround you because they all want to meet David. They don't want to meet Torsten. They want to meet David, right? So I welcome some of the people coming into the room. Jimmy, Sheriff, we welcome you all. We're on an interesting topic, and I'm giving you a little bit of history. David Torsten goes back 20 years, as David told you. And David, we did a couple of big productions, like big events together, right? Like music events.
We did actually quite a few. We worked together in real estate. We did events together. We did everything in the beginning to make money.
Yeah, and we rehabbed remember we rehabbed a lot of houses in Big Bear and Arrowhead.
Oh, yeah. I will never forget that one.
So David, his skill set, he's smart, he's a salesman, and he's powerful, like 5 gladiators put together. So when this guy's on the construction site, and we got the working crew. I mean, he just lifts all the heavy items. He's putting it into place. I mean, we go way back together. And from when I've known David, 20 years ago, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know this. Where he is today, a successful businessman with his own line of products, right? He's been in. Let's talk about movies, David. David, you've been in movies, right?
Yeah, when I was working in LA, I also did a lot of TV commercials, TV shows, and independent movies. I even had 2 leads. One of the movies even ended up in what's it called? Not Netflix.
Hulu.
I forgot now how it's called.
That's okay.
But, it was one. It was an independent movie, but a little decent budget one. And it was called Sleeping Beauty and Snow White, but the horror version. So it actually was a horror movie.
It was a horror movie. Hey, and David, correct me if I'm wrong, but some way I think you also even did a reality fitness show in Mexico, right?
Yes, that was in 2009, I believe. It was called. If people want to look it up, you can Google it or go on YouTube. You just put in Stars Super Bodies. Stars Super
Bodies. Right.
Yeah, and a reality show, and then it will come up. So yeah, we were basically they picked 6 successful fitness models becoming Hollywood action hero, and they would put us through a lot of insane acting training, to become an action hero. And of course, they wanted to see us fail because that's the fun part.
Right.
But it was a good time. I can't complain. It was good.
And, in your years of training, because, I mean, look at this guy's body, right? This doesn't just happen overnight. This is years and years and years of dedicated work, disciplined work. I mean, you've trained with some of the greatest, like Arnold Schwarzenegger from your own hometown, right? Austria, right?
Yeah. I actually had the pleasure right before the outbreak, beginning of this year, to train with Schwarzenegger because I went to Goldschirm. And I met him before, and we had a little chit-chat, but in German, of course, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
And then, it just happened that when I went to Goldstream at 8 o'clock in the morning, and he's always there around 7 to 8 in the morning.
Yes.
And it just happened that we trained on the same machine.
Oh, really?
And then he came up to me. He gave me this kind of mad look, kind of saying, "Hey, I'm working out here." And then he talked to me in German, and then we got along.
So you hit him up. You said, "Hey, mein Name ist David. Wir machen dieses Workout zusammen." I mean, he's like, "Oh wow, this guy's from my."
So actually, we shared. That's actually was a little dream of mine. We actually shared the same equipment, and we did 3 sets of biceps and. And I had a little chit chat with him, which is freaking awesome.
Cool.
And of course, all the girls were after him. They all wanted to have pictures, so he paid more attention to the girls.
Oh, he loves girls.
Still, hey.
Cool. And then, I mean, you've trained with some of the other big bodybuilder greats in the world, right? I mean.
Yeah, I met Hulk Hogan, The Rock, and I also trained
The Rock.
He was actually a client of mine. Get them ready for movie roles and stuff like that.
So you would prepare these actors and actresses for their movie roles. You'd get their bodies in the best of shapes, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Cool. So David, we'll talk about the company that you formed, BioCorpUSA.com. We'll talk about that in a while. But my audience, you have a fitness channel on YouTube. You're famous on YouTube, and we're going to leave the link here, and everyone go to his site and subscribe to him, and then reach out to him. Say, hey, I'm a friend of Torsten. I mean, we're like brothers from a different mother, right? So the one thing is, David, drivers like Uber and Lyft drivers, you've caught your Ubers and Lyft in the world, right? I'm sure you've taken a few, right? These guys are hardcore workers. They're sitting in that same seated position for hours and hours and hours on end. I cannot quite say that the majority eat very healthy. Many people use a quick break to go through a drive-through, In-N-Out, McDonald's, Jack in the Box. And subsequently, when you're doing this for 4, 5, 6 years in a row, your body takes on a different shape. Not only that, you get very, very unhealthy. So I'm sort of painting you the worst case scenario picture that a driver could reach if they neglect their fitness, if they neglect their health, if they neglect their nutrition. Could you, in a few words, right, if you could just visualize yourself in that position, visualize yourself where you are today and say, hey, guys, here are some amazing tips for you drivers. Go ahead.
Oh, yes, definitely. So first off, let's start with nutrition. As we know, when you sit all day, and by the way, like sitting all day, is not the healthiest position because as we know, I just read a study that just came out a few weeks ago and it was quite interesting.
Okay.
And it was about how many times people actually spend on a desk and sitting all day, and that messes up, their back and everything, and also like your feet and everything falls asleep. And let's face it, you're not activating your muscle tissue a lot. So, and also you don't burn a lot of calories. So starting with nutrition, it's all about calories in, calories out.
Okay.
Which means, when you sit down, obviously you're not burning as much calories. And let's just say if a driver doesn't have a lot of time, I'm assuming they will stop at McDonald's or some fast food restaurant and get like a couple burgers.
Yes.
So considering that like 2-3 burgers have at least 2,500 calories, for most people that's already the BMR. So let me briefly explain what the BMR is. It's the basal metabolic rate. So in other words, the calories your body burns without activity.
Okay.
So, and most people by eating just 3 burgers, they're over it already. So, and then, if you don't burn a lot of calories by sitting all day, it's not going to help. So what I would do, every time I have a break in between,
yes,
I would have some kettlebells or some bands, some stretch bands in the car.
Oh, that's a great idea.
And I would honestly, I wouldn't care. I would stop somewhere on the side road. I do some squats, I do some push-ups, I do some sit-ups.
Exactly.
Have a kettlebell in there. It doesn't take much to have like 2-3 weights in there, and you can have an entire routine, and you burn more calories in your muscles, and you wake them up.
And you're oxygenating the entire body. Like he mentioned a kettlebell, that famous kettlebell. You could have it in the back of your car. You could have some of those rubber stretch bands you could buy online on Amazon or sport or whatever. At Big 5 Sports. Is that accurate? Is that what you're talking about? A few things
That's correct. That's correct. You can get them anywhere, and also the kettlebells. I think for a man, a good size kettlebell where you can do most of the things would be 35 pounds. That's
35. That's quite a bit.
35. Yeah.
I know for you that's like a feather, but for some people, 35 pounds, they'll sweat. They'll break out a sweat.
That's enough to get you going, that's for sure.
That's for sure, exactly. Okay, now that I love it. And you continue. Sorry, I'm interrupting you.
Oh, no worries. And then, when it comes to nutrition, and I just tell you what I would do, okay? So, and I'm doing that anyways. But so what I'm doing, in order to stay in shape, and trust me when I say that I tried everything. Okay. And there's no way, unless you're a genetic freak, there's no way to go to fast food restaurant or like to eat out every day and stay in shape. It just doesn't work.
Not possible.
Reason number one is because, in restaurants, they make the food for the tastes so that people come back. They don't make it for health.
Okay.
Fast food restaurants make it super cheap. And if the ingredients are super cheap, then obviously, there's no quality there. And if the body can't get any nutrients, then the body can use nothing or not much from that.
Yeah.
So I would spend 30 minutes, 40 minutes every night when you come home.
Okay.
Pre-cook all your meals, and then have a cooler with you, and then bring it with you, and then you just eat like every 3 hours small meals.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
so what I'm going to cut you off briefly. So what you suggest is, if the driver finishes his shift in the early evening or at night, they take the time to prepare these meals. And we can talk about a couple of possible meals. You can give these guys some good pointers, right? You prepare these meals, and what you are saying is that, let's say they're in your fridge, they're in your freezer, the very next day, you've got your little cooler bag with you in the car, you got your dumbbells, you got your exercise band, and then you basically are eating these small portions like every 3 hours. Does that sound accurate?
That is totally Correct. And do you remember when I was working for you? And do you remember when I was driving through California and taking pictures?
Yes, you were actually. I think we.
I did that. I did that already back then. Remember, I always came with my cooler and I had all my food and everything in there.
Yeah, I remember that. You came to the office with your cooler, and then I think we photographed like something like 400,000 buildings for our .com, right? And he was out there. He was out there driving, photographing, and him and Chris.
So in a sense, I was not an Uber driver, but in a sense, I did the same thing because I couldn't really spend a lot of time out of the car because I had to like drive and take pictures, so, and I had to get a certain amount of pictures done every day. So I didn't have a lot of time to get food or get out of the car. So I was spending at least, 10 hours in the car.
Wow.
So the only chance I had is to be healthy, have my cooler with me, and eat every 3 hours.
And do exercise. Now, David, we're going to continue like with the suggestions, the food, the nutrition, and the health for drivers. But Wicked Hustle Guy, who's a big subscriber, he's in a lot of my live feeds. He says, does he, David, recommend any type of snacks like nuts, trail mix, or fruits?
Well, yes. I mean, fruits and nuts everything is good. But here's the thing: like nuts, you got to keep in mind. They have a lot of calories.
Okay.
A handful of nuts, doesn't matter what kind of nuts these are. I mean, they have a handful is at least, 800 calories.
Really?
Now you have the choice. Do you rather have a real food that has the same amount of calories and it's like the volume is like 3 times as much, or you prefer just a little snack, like a handful of nuts? Personally, I like the volume. I rather like to eat more.
Okay.
But I would recommend as a snack, just have a protein shake. Buy some protein powder. I mean, I know all those Uber drivers have some water with them anyways all the time. I know you bring a shaker and you make a protein shake.
Good idea.
Maybe you can put some nuts and some oats in the shaker, and then you have like a little, sort of like pudding.
Yeah, that sounds like a cool little snack in between. So as you're driving around there, you can visualize the driver. He's out there driving. What you've already said, you got to take your breaks. Let's go back to the food. So you painted a scenario. You could cook yourself some meals. Like what are like really good, healthy meals to see you throughout the day?
Well, a healthy meal would be, let's use that scenario so that everybody can picture it. Let's say you have a plate in front of you, and your flat hand, you put that on the plate. That should be the size of protein, and then your left hand is gonna be a fist, and that's gonna be the size of your carbohydrates. So carbohydrates, could be some sweet potatoes, some brown rice, or some quinoa or stuff like that. Okay. And then the second fist is going to be vegetables like broccoli, asparagus, stuff like that.
Yeah, I love broccoli, and broccoli is not that expensive, and it's super healthy, right?
Yeah, that's correct. I honestly go for some organic versions, a little bit more, but
yeah, cool. And then you would put them into those ratios, and you would make yourself little packages throughout the day that you would carry in your cooler box, right?
Correct. Yeah. I mean, like for fitness guys, we're more accurate when it comes to that stuff. We actually measure our food, so we know exactly what we eat.
Okay.
Especially if we have to get ready for competition. But I would say for like regular people who just want to be healthy and stay in shape or get in better shape, you don't have to weigh your food, but just to get an idea, the flat hand is the protein, and 2 fists is basically the carbs. 1 fist is vegetables, and 1 fist is some complex carbs such as rice, potatoes, sweet potatoes, or quinoa, stuff like that.
Fantastic. So let's say I'm driving around, I see a nice green park. I decide I park my car in the shade. I get out, I open up the back, I get out. Like what am I doing like with these light kettle weights and how many minutes do I mean, time is money here for drivers, right? They look at like, okay, God, I'm out here taking a break. I'm not in the car. Yes, I am taking care of my health and my body, but I'm losing money. And to keep it like realistic, what do they, what type minutes wise, what do they put into their routine?
I mean, I would say so that the drivers don't lose too much money, keep it short.
Okay.
So instead of like one workout for like 30, 40 minutes or maybe even an hour, just have two workouts, 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes a little later, in between time. I'm sure the drivers know when they have a downtime,
Yes.
So do it in the downtime, like 10, 20 minutes. And the way you do it is do it by time. So every cell phone has a timer. So when you do some kettlebell exercises, which I can send you, by the way, later. So
okay, I can put it there in the feed for the people. Yeah.
Yeah. So then you basically do 30 seconds for each set with like 3-4 exercises in a row, and then break.
Okay.
And that's kind of like high interval training, but with weights. So it's kind of like you get a little bit of both worlds, like some cardio and some weightlifting. It's kind of like CrossFit style training.
Exactly, and then we'll put that in the video later on. He'll give you some suggestions based on the fact that he's talking to drivers and gig workers, right? I wanna a product that I use, and what happened to me. I just broke my leg, blah blah blah, and I got to get my body back. I'm doing a lot of like upper body strength, leg strength, because believe me, when you're lying in bed, your muscles start withering away. So I'm staying active. I'm taking your product, your BioCorp product, which I love the taste and let's talk about that a little bit, because you gained all of this knowledge over, let's say the last 20 years, but then you decided to take this big brave move. You went from LA, I believe you went to Sedona. In Sedona, you actually manufacture your formulas. Is that correct?
Well, I'm doing it now in Scottsdale here.
In Scottsdale, okay. And
well, okay, I can give you a brief, quick history of what happened. I was a sponsored fitness model, and I don't want to really mention the company right now.
Okay.
The reason why, you will know in a second. And then I also got involved with a company to work in production for supplements.
Okay.
And by the way, that we talk about a really known big company, and
yes.
That's why I don't want to, really mention the name. And when I was involved, because I'm a certified nutritionist in production, I thought the bigger the company, the better the products. That was what I thought, and I'm sure that most people think the same way.
True.
But then I got so disappointed because, when it comes to big companies, there's a few issues here. Number one is they're on the stock market. Number two, they have investors. Number three, they have 2,000 employees. So now it's all about the numbers, right?
Sounds like Uber and Lyft.
Exactly. So they
Exactly.
have to keep everybody happy.
Exactly.
And how do you keep everybody happy with a lot of competition? Well,
right.
a lot of times, they buy all the ingredients like overseas.
Poor quality, right? Poor quality. Really poor
quality.
Yeah.
Very poor quality. And then on top of that, I actually, if people want to go to my website or to my YouTube channel, I actually was on a TV show here in Arizona that was about a year ago, and I was actually exposing supplement companies because people don't understand the difference between the price ranges of the same product.
Okay.
And then I explained to him is when you have a supplement in your hands, you turn it around and you look at the label, and then let's just say, as an example, that supplement has like 5-6 ingredients.
Okay.
Now, those 5-6 ingredients, are marked at 100, 200, 500 milligrams, whatever.
Okay.
So, but by law, you don't have to mention the potency and what potency you buy the raw ingredients.
Oh,
and
wow.
that's how a lot of companies cut corners and get away with that.
So they don't declare the potency, and they're actually using sub-potent products.
Most companies buy, especially the bigger companies, they buy the potency at like 65, sometimes 75% potency. And there's maybe 10% of companies out there, and I'm one of them, that actually buy everything at the highest potency, which is like 95. And some ingredients, depending what it is, they go up to 99, but there's nothing higher than that. Most are like 95, 96. So in other words, you already get more for your money because, it's not It's not pouched with cheap fillers.
Exactly. And I think a lot of people can relate to that. Doesn't always mean that big names, big companies have the biggest and best products. Absolutely not.
Right? I always tell my people, I said, look, if something is cheap, there is a reason why. And you can save money on watches, you can save money on clothes, it's all external. But anything that goes into your body, I would not waste. I would not waste, any thought on buy quality. It's all about quality. Anything that goes in, make sure, because we only have one body. And at the end of the day, when that's gone and that's not healthy, then
everything
there's nothing left anyway.
Right, and I think that's so powerful what you mentioned there. I mean, your body is your temple, right? And you live once, and you might as well live it to the fullest and the healthiest potential. And especially if you have family and kids that rely on you, this injury that I just had gave me a big wake-up call, because David, I'll be honest, I was one of those people, businessmen and private drivers that fell into a little bit of a bad routine when it came to especially my workout routine. I was neglecting it, and my health nutrition routine. I'm the first one to own up and say, listen, I screwed up there over the last 12 months, right? And right away, this was the universe sent me a big wake-up call, corrected, and starting to talk about it in feeds. There was no other person, like go-to person that I could think of than David Reinprecht, who's helped me with this fitness and nutrition issue over the years. I use his products, right? And his heart is in the right place when it comes to fitness. So, what didn't we cover today? I mean, that was an exciting 30 minutes so far. What haven't we touched on, David?
Well, there's just one thing I want to mention. I want to put out there to everybody. I'm doing this for 21 years. I'm helping people, losing weight, building muscles, increase their health, and all that stuff. And I just want to put that out there. I have a lot of very wealthy clients. Okay. And I'm talking about they have millions, okay? And they don't think twice in buying a car or anything. But there's one thing I noticed with almost all of them. When it comes to healthy stuff, to take care of them, they always have a second thought before they spend money.
Really?
But when it comes to alcohol, cigarettes, buying the girl something or anything, they just spend. They don't even think about it.
They just do it.
And it's because consciously and unconsciously we're so programmed, to not think twice of buying something that's unhealthy. And you know why? Because a lot of things that are unhealthy, such as alcohol, cigarettes, or whatever, you get an instant gratification because it gives you a kick.
Yes.
And that makes people feel like, oh, I'm not wasting my money because I get something
I'm getting something back.
Yeah. But with supplements, depending on what supplements, vitamin C, magnesium, all that stuff, it's not like you take it and you feel it right away. There's a lot of stuff happening internally, but we don't get that instant gratification that, I'm not wasting my money. And that's why a lot of people hesitate on spending money on healthy food, healthy products, supplements, and so on. So trust me, take your vitamins, take your supplements, eat healthy, because at the end of the day, it will catch up with you.
Right.
A lot of people think.
So what I sorry to cut you off, but what I heard there is that it's very easy to go after instant gratification. It's very easy to buy a bottle of tequila and get a little bit drunk, or get a nicotine high, or go for a fancy dinner and impress people, right? Because those are very short-lived scenarios. But what I hear from you, actually convincing people to do long-term investments into your body, into your health, into your mind, right? Which doesn't immediately show overnight success, right? Because you got to constantly take those good products, those vitamins, those minerals, do those workouts. But the investment long-term, however much it costs, could be the difference, let's say, between 20 or 30 years of extra great, healthy living. Is that pretty accurate?
That is correct, yeah. I mean, sooner or later, either you take care of your health today, or eventually, a few years down the line, you're gonna spend all your money at the hospital or to the doctor. I mean, that's just no way around it. And
Cool.
I've been seeing that for years.
So we have an awesome guy in the house. Lorenzo Davis says, how can a man over 50 build more testosterone?
Well, first of all, I would do a blood test to see
A blood test?
to see your levels. First you need to see what your levels are, because these days most men, believe it or not, there was a study, you can look it up online. Since the 60s till now, testosterone in men declined by astonishing 68%.
Really?
That's insane. And that's because we consume so much crap, and especially so much plastic. All the plastic that ends up in the body increases estrogen, and when estrogen decreases, testosterone is going down.
Okay.
So it's either or. Yeah.
Okay. So get a blood test maybe, and then once you have that blood test back, I mean, what will a blood test tell you?
Well, the blood test tells you your current testosterone level. I mean, maybe you have a healthy range and you don't know it.
Okay.
But if you feel like that you're low in testosterone, which could be a libido issue, or like, you're always tired, you're exhausted, you're depression, then that might be signs of low T. Now, there's two ways. Either you go the natural route.
Okay.
I can actually send you a video. I have a video on my YouTube channel where I actually list everything about how to naturally increase testosterone.
Really? Cool.
Actually, it's funny. I actually have a video like that. Yeah? And it shows you everything, like ashwagandha, tribulus, and all that stuff that helps.
Okay.
But if it's not working the way you want to, then option 2 is you do like a TRT, which is testosterone replacement therapy.
Okay.
So if you go to any like male clinic or to a doctor that specializes in hormones, they either give you a cream or injections or like a pellet, and they will, increase the testosterone like immediately. After like 2 weeks, you feel like a man again.
Okay, you don't feel like a mouse, you feel like a man. You feel like David Reinprecht. Dude, beast mode. I know. I've worked with him on the construction sites. I've seen this guy play tennis. I've seen this guy swim. I've seen this guy do MMA, kickboxing. This guy's a beast. And I don't want to climb. I personally, I'm older than him. How many years am I older than you, David?
I'm 43 now.
Okay, so I'm 52, so 9 years, right? I do not want to climb in the ring, in any type of ring, boxing ring, MMA ring, with this beast. It's over, right? But the fun thing I can tell you as a good friend over 20 years, you go out with him, whether it's for a dinner, whether it's to a party, whether it's to a nightclub, whether it's to a wedding. This dude, his magnet, I don't know what magnet he carries around with him, but the people want to know. The people want to know, who is this dude, especially the girls. Who is this guy, right? So the amount of fun we've had, the amount of business we've done together, the amount of money we've made together, it's hard to explain, right? I mean, I guess, David, that would take like another 5-hour live feed, maybe.
Oh, yeah, to explain 20 years, yeah, that's a long time.
I mean, we've learned a lot of street tricks over the years, right? Over 20 years, how to survive in LA and how to build in LA, right? I mean, that would be a great follow-up live video beyond fitness, health, and nutrition for drivers. I think that would be very inspirational to some people to know where David came from, where I came from, and how teamwork, how helping each other at every corner of the way, helping each other, learning together, growing together, motivating each other, right? You go up and up and up and up that ladder, and you go towards your true potential. He knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And you know what? Before we leave, I have something for your people. If I'm gonna make a code, Torsten 1.
Okay.
And that code can people use. If people are interested in my supplements,
okay,
they can go to my website, put in the code, and they
what is it? What will it be? I mean, you're gonna set it up later. Will it be Torsten 1?
Yeah, I'll make it Torsten 1. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just put that out, then I'll put the link. If you just want to,
And it's going to be 20% off.
Awesome. And so let's say as a driver, you talked about preparing these meals after your shift, right? And taking your shaker along. I mean, they could literally make themselves some smoothies or some health smoothies in the car throughout the day. And maybe you could give them some idea, like if they're doing a 4-hour shift, 5-hour shift, 10-hour shift, 12-hour shift, how do we space these little meals, these little protein Biocorp meals, so that we get everything that we need in our body, right? Along with those amazing, I didn't even think of it. I mean, do I sometimes have weights in my car? Yes, I do. I have my dumbbells in the car. But like a stretch exercise or something like that, those are additional things I could buy for my car, because I like to take some time out. I like to treat my body to some stretches and to some exercises, because sitting in that chair-like position, right, where your feet are down, your knees are straight, your upper body, it's the hardest position on your body and on your spine for 5 or 10 hours. I'm sure you would agree, David.
Oh yeah, especially the lumbar area, the lower spine.
Okay, so now I have a question for you. So right now, while we were talking, I ate a yogurt, right? I ate a Greek blueberry yogurt. Good or bad?
If it's low in sugar, it's okay.
Okay, if it's low on sugar, it says it has 12 grams protein, 0% fat.
Well, the fat is not a problem. The fat is actually not too bad, but the sugar is important. Because usually if there's no fat, the sugar goes up. If there's more fat, then the sugar goes down.
Okay, I said total amount of sugar is 19 grams.
Yeah, that's a little bit too much, because
okay.
I was, according the American Health Association, an individual should consume not more than 20 to 30 grams of sugar per day.
Really?
If you would have like 2 or 3 of those, and I'm sure you eat some other stuff too, and if you have a drink,
yes.
You already about that. An average American consumes 60 to 80 grams of sugar every single day.
Every day.
It comes up to almost 200 pounds a year. That's a person. That's
200 pounds of sugar.
200 pounds. That's insane.
That's insane.
So much sugar. And sugar is basically the worst. Now, if I would be a driver, stay away from sugar, because sugar gives you a little high, a little kick, and then once you drop, then you get more hungry, you're more tired. So anything, stay away from the sugar, because
so like soft drinks like Cokes and Mountain Dew. I mean, that's shit, right? That's just terrible for your body.
Yeah, that's terrible. And a new study just came out not too long ago too, which says that sucralose, which is the artificial sweetener in a lot of those sodas, kills your gut bacteria.
Okay.
So if your gut bacteria gets killed, that means you have a lot of bloating, you can't digest the food, you feel uncomfortable, you get gassy. And the last thing you want to be is gas in the car.
Yeah, you don't want to be farting around in the car while your rider is in there. That's not a good idea. Because even if you fart and they're not in the car, the next passenger gets in, they're going to smell it. It's bad.
Yeah, you're going to smell it.
So okay, good. That's a good one. That's a real good one, especially with the sugars. Okay, so fast food and that, I know a lot of drivers share this with me. They drive from fast food outlet to fast food outlet. That we got to change, folks. We can't do that, right? You got to prepare your little meals. You go back in this video, and you will hear David talk about little possible meals that you can prepare and take with you on your cooler bag. And I'll guarantee you'll be saving money as well, right? Because just hopping around from drive-through to drive-through, you're consuming a lot of time, you're eating a lot of crap, right? You do it once off in the evening, and you prepare your meals for the next day, right?
Yeah, and you can even like prepare your meals, like you spend like 40 minutes, and you can prepare your meals for the next 2-3 days.
Okay.
So I'm doing this, yeah. So you don't really spend so much. It's not that much work. Okay. So people think it's so much, but just to make some rice, grill some chicken, some veggies and stuff like that, it doesn't take much.
Okay. And David, when my leg is better, I'm gonna come and party with you in Scottsdale there again, because I love Scottsdale. I used to always check in at the W Hotel. Fun times, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, that's fun, right? There's all the bars right there.
And I mean, there's some really cool resorts and spas. Arizona, when I was selling the sunscreen line, I had a very organic sunscreen line. Most of my clients were in Arizona, resorts, spas. There are some amazing places. In fact, one of the biggest private airports, right, is in Scottsdale, right, for Learjets that land there. There's a lot of it's a lot of money in Scottsdale. So you're in a good place to network with the super wealthy, right, David?
That is correct, and I like it here. People are down to earth. It's in LA, as you know, everybody is about, hey, what can you do for me? How can you help me? How can you try to build my career? But here, people are professionals. They have jobs, and there's so much nicer here. It's good.
They're more approachable, more friendly.
Yeah, more approachable.
LA is very transient. LA is very Hollywood glamour. A lot of fakies running around. A lot of wannabes. But David and I know how to navigate through all that crap. We've done that in life, right?
We did that for a long time.
We're gonna have another interesting live feed where we go off record, off topic, everything on the table, all cards on the table, and we're gonna share some of our innermost, craziest secrets with you. So good times, David. 20 years, my brother. 20 years.
20 years. 20 years, we can talk so much more about that. Can you just imagine if we share our funny stories, like all that stuff we did? Oh my god!
Oh my god, we did so much. We did so many pranks. We'll talk about that. We are natural pranksters, David, Chris, and I. The amount of pranks we would do during a 10-hour or 8 to 10 hour working day was insane. We laughed sometimes. I mean, we were laughing, we were crying and rolling on the floor in the office. In the business office, and you know what I introduced in my company was every Friday after work we had a built-in bar, so we had happy hour, right? Remember happy hour? And margaritas came out, and then we'd go party Friday or Saturday night. Good times. Let the good times roll. David.
You know what I will never forget? The strip club.
The strip club. Okay. Oh God, yeah, the strip club. David and I have been to a strip club together. We've done. With good buddies, you can do everything.
We wait at 12 o'clock noon. Who does that?
12 o'clock mid-afternoon, we hit the strip club. Exactly. But what I know about David, I know where he started. I know where he is today. I have a good understanding on his 20-year path, his journey, his graph. David knows my graph. And what we can just do is just truly share with people what we've learned. And even if you take away a little bit out of this session today, out of these 45 minutes, even if you feel like, hey, I learned something new, that means you've taken a big step forward and you've enriched your life with valuable information. David, I appreciate you so much. Would you say a last shout out to, we have Dean Stud says, drink more water, stop going to McDonald's, move your body more, and lose. He lost over 300 pounds that way. You lost over 300 pounds that way. Is that, wow. Okay, so listen, we got one person here who's pretty much,
pounds? Wow.
He's followed your protocol. I mean, that you've been talking about today. This guy was actively doing it. So I mean, I salute people like that are willing to face the issue and turn their lives around. Great job. How do you feel today? I mean, how does he feel today? By the way, Scott Tucker, another great guy from Vegas, says the strip clubs are opening in Vegas. David,
let's go.
Let's go. Good. He's funny. All right, man. Hey, I had a lot of fun, and I'm excited to see you again. And then thank you for coming on to the show. The Real Deal, David Reinprecht. We're gonna put his video channel. Go subscribe to him, get to know him, and be safe, my brother.
Thank you for having me. And I hope that I was able to share some new information and people can, improve their health and life.
Fantastic. Fantastic. And then guys, go check out his website. Go check out his channel. You got a code there. Thanks, David, for passing on that code.
By the way, the code is live.
So the code Torsten, TORSTEN1 is live. Go and mix your little meals. Live healthy. Work healthy. Be there for your family. David, all the best, my friend. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Bye.
Thanks.
So just the sweetest friend, loyal friend, a warrior. This is a guy I would go to battle with. This guy can brawl. I know how David can brawl. He's an MMA fighter, right? He used to be a pro kickboxer in Austria and a pro tennis player. This guy has just been about fitness all his life. But more than that, he went out into the big world, built his company, and I'm proud to be his friend 20 years later. I hope you learned something today. I did. We had a little fun. We had a couple of laughs. We got to know David. That's him there, dude. When you go out to the W Hotel and the guy takes his shirt off and frickin' jumps in the swimming pool, the chicks, there's all line up. They want to meet David. David from Austria, like Arnie. Anyway, it was a fun one. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Dean. Thank you, Wicked Hustle Guy. Thank you, Lorenzo. Let's get this video out. Let's help people. I think this was truly one of the most informational health, nutrition, and fitness videos for drivers. Tailored. The show was tailored for drivers by this gentleman. And gratitude, my brother. Gratitude. Wicked Hustle Guy says thank you. I say thank you, and I say thank you to everyone in the room. God bless. Be safe. Sanitize your cars. Wear your masks. 2021, baby.